Alright, and we have arrived at the next episode of the challenge series. I'm going to do the second of 4 episodes here in Tier C. You can see the point standings there. Thrasher's got a little bit of a margin, to say the least. There really isn't a ton to comment on here. It's pretty self-explanatory, to be perfectly honest. So we'll just jump straight into Imola and not pad the runtime any longer. Well, looks like that margin might go down. Just maybe. Although, maybe not by that much. Because Hikari's second points and he's only starting in 6th. Okay, yeah, it probably will. It won't necessarily be gone, because he has to get to 2nd for that, or 3rd, but it definitely will take a hit, because passing here isn't too easy. I've also may have already forgotten who was 3rd in points. Oh, it's Hyde. Okay, that might be a problem for him too, because Hyde's starting on the front row. I have yet spoken a single word today, even though I've been awake for like an hour, so my throat still has to kind of like warm up. Well, not the greatest launch from the F40. But he's pretty much back on O'Reilly's bumper anyway. This Taylor just cuts Hikari right off, but it literally doesn't matter. Maybe it does. And actually just nudge Taylor out of the way to make sure he could stay on the road. Actually, there's a lot of it that still kind of has to warm up here. I'm not a morning person, like, in the slightest, and yet I choose to record in the morning, because I apparently hate myself. The battle between these two has pretty much not abstained, it's sustained, it's not changed. Good speaking, Riker. Thank God. I'm not really sure which of these two vehicles is technically the better car. I would tend to think the F40, but I've been wrong on that sort of thing before. Well, it's probably better yet if you don't lock the brakes. Thrasher appeared to be getting lost for a second. Since I had just been overtaken by Michael Krieger before I cut the camera over here. If Hikari can catch and pass one of those cars up there, the points battle will get pretty much dead even between the top 3. Meanwhile, Fidanzi tried to move on Hyde, but that's not exactly a conventional overtaking spot, and so therefore it didn't work. What that has done is cause Hyde to fall behind Thomas a lot and cause both of them to get ever closer to the GTR. Neither of those things are what the F40 driver wants to see right now. Well, Thrasher has just overtaken me, and the M3 driver will be next. I don't know how on earth he got it slowed down for that, but here we are. I'm just gonna go for a late move on Akira. Ironic, because Akira is in Challenge Series because of Thrasher. Same applies for pretty much everybody around him. Krieger, Hammer, and Takahata are all here for that reason as well. And Fidanzi, and then by some extension, Hikari, but that's because that's his brother. Or that's Akira's brother. They have the same last name for a reason. Man, I'm just plummeting here. Remind me. The little conflict between Hyde and Fran was exactly what Thomas needed, because now he's just taking the money and running with it. There seems to be nothing to impede him now. Hikari with a nudge, that's more characteristic of the other GTR driver. Usually Hikari's really passive, but I guess he really wants this points lead. But I blame him necessarily, but still. And I think he's gonna probably take it in a minute. The 155 doesn't have much top speed to offer, not compared to a GTR. It does have good handling, but I don't know how far that will get him. Well, far enough. For the moment. Yeah, never mind that. The Thrasher is scoring points, so he actually would need a better position than that to take the points lead away. Now he'd need now Hikari would need second place, and if Thrasher makes another pass, then he can't take it unless he wins. And I find that to be unlikely. Well, this is a cluster. And unsurprisingly, I'll be on the losing end of it. Okay, I don't know what my excuse is. Taylor is hanging on to 6th place perfectly fine in the same vehicle. I don't know what my problem is this race. I'm just competent. Yeah, Thrasher is now in 8th, so barring extraordinary circumstances, he has secured the points lead for now. Because Hyde would have needed to win the race to tie him before, and now he can't. And Hikari would also need to win the race to overtake him in the points, and I don't think that's going to happen either. Maybe if we were doing like a 15-lap race, but this is the last lap, and he's not going to make up 5 seconds in the next 45 seconds, basically. What happened here? I noticed I was no longer in 14th, and I got really confused. Not that! It's not what I'm looking for. There, that's one. So there, somewhere is Thrasher getting past Hammer. Yep, there it is. And Linne got aggressive. To be fair, that's not uncharacteristic. Things should be smarter than that, though. Try using your brain. But all that's really done is it's put the other 2 Group A cars in points positions. Nothing else really can or will change from that, because those were 2 cars that were kind of on the edge of points anyway. Well, it's been just about as easy of a win as you could ask for Thomas. A small challenge from Hyde in the early going, but he never really could convert it to much. Of course, Grandma is vacuuming. She was doing this all day yesterday. I don't see how she isn't done yet. Hikari ran the fastest lap and caught Hyde by like a second and a half in 1 lap. About the only driver that didn't manage to pass me is Blanchard. To say she's having an off season is... or having an off week is... well, understatement. What do you even call it? I don't know. Anyway, with that result, the distance between 3rd and 4th gets even greater. Literally nobody besides the top 4 could even take the points lead from a race win here. And Thrasher knows Laguna Seca better than I know the road I live on, so... I'd be hard-pressed to imagine that he will be superseded here. And we are on the starting grid of Laguna Seca, and clearly the game is trying to establish a comeback story with Thomas O'Reilly. Thrasher has the highest starting grid spot of the championship contenders, but a good run from Thomas could actually put him in that, because he is like 18 points back, and if Thrasher doesn't score too many points, he could be within a race or 2. He could be within a race. Right. What am I talking? Start the race. Now this for the moment is a top 2 that most people can probably get behind in the challenge series. It's the teacher versus the student, because other than being really close friends, Thomas O'Reilly has also been a mentor to Riley. I'm gonna call it the Riley and Riley Show, even though it's spelled completely differently. Think of it as almost being like a Wreck-It Ralph versus Vanellope thing, or more topical Waldstein and Lene thing. One's a really old man and the other's a young girl. Although those two duos are brought together for completely different reasons from these two. These two just met each other on the racetrack enough times and got to know each other more than the average two race car drivers will. Meanwhile, I'm plummeting on the order once again. What the heck just happened up here? I think, somebody locked their brakes up like a maniac. I don't know who. I mean, Hikari and Hyde definitely didn't get a break today. I'd be surprised if either one managed to score anything. Put a big maybe on Hyde, but Hikari, I don't think so. He has too many places back in a track where the AI can find it a little bit hard to pass each other. As I say this, he passes his brother with pretty much no real issue. I'm not convinced Akira didn't just let him by, to be honest. Oh, no, he certainly didn't. I guess it wouldn't be that easy, huh? Sibling rivalry and all that nonsense. Meanwhile, Gina is trying to pass Hyde up there. I don't really think that's going to work out too much, though. No, it didn't. Man, we are awfully close together, aren't we? Krieger's gonna send it. And no turnout. Thrasher tried to put himself in the picture, but he doesn't have the handling for that. He doesn't have the facilities for that, big man. Also, I got it backwards earlier. Hyde was actually trying to pass Gina, not the other way around, and therefore, as a result, he succeeded. So, if Hyde can make one more pass, he will score some number of points. I mean, it's all bonus points from there. I think just the principle of saying you finish in the top 10 is something in and of itself, obviously. As Thrasher's overtaken Michael Krieger, so he'll just further extend his points lead. No, well, he just locked his brakes up there, though. I'm sure Lene will want to run a bit of a quieter race, considering the way that her last one just ended, with her in a sand trap backwards. As Thrasher's going to try pass here on Fidanzi, and, well, he's going to shove him almost to the gravel, but Thrasher will get up another spot. He is clawing for as many points as he can get. Lene is, despite my better judgment, or despite my better accusation, it's going to just kind of fallen through. Does she make both stick? No, because Fidanzi's got a lot more handling than her. But, I'll have another opportunity later, I'm certain. Lene probably saw through, like, the mental vulnerability after they just both got passed by Thrasher. I'm just like, it's real estate. Speaking of Thrasher, now he's past Darius, and he is onto the podium positions after starting 7th. And Hyde still working on getting into the points positions. That's not how you do it. That's how you get passed by Hikari. Don't do that. And see you later. Well, maybe not. He has the inside lane. They're basically fighting for who has the privilege to try and pass Takahata. If anybody at all, for that matter, which, I mean, not certain yet. But Hyde will maintain 11th place. Just seems dumb at that point. So they're going that crazy for a position that doesn't even score you anything. Well, following this race, Thomas will have scored another almost effortless win. Will Riley be able to hold off for second the whole time? I'm not certain. But, unfortunately for Thomas, because of Thrasher's performance in this race, leading him to get at least third, Thomas isn't really going to gain much on Thrasher. He's just going to join the field of drivers trying to catch him, more than anything else. And Thrasher's getting kind of desperate at this point. He's starting to race the guys here like he's racing against Gran Turismo AI. And Riley just probably wanted to secure a survival, just to get out of his way, basically. Takahata overtook Hammer, and that leaves probably easier prey for whoever's sitting 11th to take points away. Gonna have a straightaway here. Hyatt's gonna get closer to the Mercedes, but I don't think he'll be close enough to pass at the corkscrew, though. So Hyde either has to try a very heroic and maniacal move in the last turn, or he doesn't get anything. Because yeah, this is not striking distance of the last turn at all. Yeah, no, it ain't happening. The Mercedes has too much handling. Not really sure the GTR got faster for that matter. So, no points for either of Thrasher's main points competitors. Thomas O'Reilly is going to repeat, and Thrasher will take second after starting 3 rows back from that. Blanchard will get a podium. Right as I was saying, she's having a bit of an off championship. Linnea made similar moves to barely miss out on 4th, but from 9th, still a lot of passing. GT40s were very dominant in this race. And yeah, now you can see Thomas O'Reilly is right in the fray. Has taken second in points, following Hyde and Hikari's less than fruitful Laguna Seca. But Thrasher has an entire race worth of points ahead of all of them. He's gonna need a little bit of some bad luck if there's any hope of anybody catching him. If he continues to race like this, he's gonna have a clinch with a couple rounds to go. Nobody wants that. This ain't Formula 1. Anyway, let's get into this waste of space. I just wanted to make it 16 rounds, otherwise this wouldn't even be here, I'm gonna be honest. What on earth is going on? Well, we're on the starting grid of I don't know how to say this. This is like the Japanese names where you don't really know how exactly to, like, enunciate words that are ambiguous in how they're pronounced. Vowel sounds to this a lot. Is it Magione or Magione, or it could be Magione for all I know. Just same with the Valunga or Valunga. Maybe pronounce the E. I don't know. Maybe it's Vallelunga. I don't know. I mean, Linne looks like it could easily be Lin. Hyde Keto, that could be Hyde Kiddo. Well, that would sound kind of stupid. It's a Kazuya or Kazuya. It just goes on and on with these Japanese names and words. It just drives me nuts. Oh, but Fidanzi's not having it this time. I don't think you'll be holding this lead for long, Thomas. What is going on out there? It's a very foggy morning at this track, so that's interesting. That's probably more interesting than the actual race is going to be. Don't escape the camera here. It's probably where the most interesting thing is going to happen because it's me ahead of her. Surprisingly, she doesn't really... Well, she did go for it, but she didn't go for it as aggressively as I thought. Well, I don't like where this is going. That GT40 does not have much handling compared to me, but I'm just stuck on the outside like a passenger. And that's why you gotta pick your battles carefully. Something I would think Linne would know about. But that can leave you open to that if you're not careful doing that too often. And that. And Krieger is just right, yeah, as I said, it's only a matter of time before one of these mistakes is fatal. The difference in cornering capabilities is too much for O'Reilly to handle here. However, second place will still do well because Hikari is pretty far away and Thrasher is sitting in 9th right now. You'll have Hyde scoring decent points, but he's still ahead of Hyde, who's down 3 on both Hikari and Thomas. And then down, 15 more from Thrasher. I just tried to flip the camera around, like I'm driving. I hit the right stick downward to try and spin the camera around to look behind me, and then remember that I can't do that because I'm not driving the car. So what is going on with those mountains in the background? Fog doesn't do that. Renee wants revenge, and she's not gonna get it because it's an M3. It's way too much cornering. I think Hammer just nudged Thrasher out of the way a little bit there. Man, what is happening up here? This looks chaotic on the map, but ultimately nothing is happening. So this time it'll be Fran Fidanzi taking home a pretty unresisted win at this track. Just screw trying to say the name at this point. The boring track that is in Italy somewhere. Thomas will maintain second place, and he'll get his third consecutive podium finish. He's finished on the podium every race this episode so far. Somehow I managed to sustain fourth place, probably because this is this track where you can't pass anybody, and Thrasher and Hikari did not get the results they were looking for. This will, luckily, close the points battle in just a little bit. Actually, just a lot, because Thomas is now 5 points away, and Hyde's 10 points away. Hikari kinda got left behind at this point, but, nah. He can make it up. And Fidanzi is starting to enter the picture a little bit. He's 22 points off. Same thing kind of goes for Takahata. Okay, we'll head into the last race of this episode, 4 laps of Monza. See, what did I say? He can make it up. He has no excuse to not do that from here. Hyde's gonna get kind of deposited a little bit, but everybody else that's in the championship hunt is pretty close together. Excuse me. Me and Taylor are about to die, I know that much, but... And same might apply for the most of the Group A race cars, but they all start at the front anyway, so who knows. Well, all except for Krieger, who started in 8th, I think, yeah. Thomas already to second, he's already passed both these Group A cars, we haven't even reached the first turn yet. Thrasher has just all but passed, and he's ahead of Akira there. And Hyde has gone down significantly. Okay then. I figured it's Monza and he has an F40, he'd be able to make up a few of those positions, but not from here. Even I passed him. I'm in a Lotus for crying out loud. Figure it out, Hyde. I was gonna say the winner of this race seems to be preordained, but not necessarily. Thomas O'Reilly is still kinda in the ballpark. Fidanzi is by all accounts, but he's not gonna be for very long, as Thrasher is also quickly approaching. So, Hikari might have the GT40 brigade chasing him, and that's about it. Lunay's already up 5 places, and we haven't even completed a lap yet. Yeah, the GT40s are gonna like this track, I think. Just a guess. Hyde has since overtaken me and Darius. If he can get around Kazuya, he will have gotten into a points position. But the GTR is not a slot in a straight line, so that might be a while in the making if it happens at all. Linnae is going to make a pass on Krieger, maybe. It's hard to say. No. No, she doesn't. Not yet. Okay, now she does because the GT40 took off like a rocket out of the chicane. Well, okay then. Well, that's not what Heidi did in front of him. Kazuya getting paralysis of choice. He's just gonna send it. He doesn't have all day. And there it goes. No, Thomas is a lot closer than I thought he'd be, holy crap. And Thrasher is on the podium. I think Linnae just took some interesting measures to get ahead of Akira that we just missed. How on earth? Man, Krieger can't pick a line to save his life. And it's gonna kinda yeet Hyde too. So now both will just pass the M3 driver, I think. Hyde wanted extra credit, but now he's stuck back where he was before, and this isn't gonna make the pass just yet. But as soon as he floors it, he is away. And he's still not in points because he got passed by Darius. It is a constant struggle back there for that F40 driver. Linnae is up to 5th now, I missed that. Hammer and Tarini fighting for 6th behind her. The handling of the 190E is going to keep him in 6th, 5th, 6th. Yes, I can math. Hyde has 3 Supras in his sights. Can he pass any of them? I'm not convinced. They are 3 wide in the final corner. Takahata and the Taniguchi brothers. This just seems scripted at this point because all 3 of them kind of, well, Akira and Kazuya hate each other. This is not Hikaru. What am I talking about? This is Gina. Good lord, Gina. A little bit aggressive there. Thomas, what are you doing? That is not a passing. That is not within striking distance. What are you on about? Will Linnae have the opportunity to get around the Alfa Romeo? I'm gonna go ahead and vote no. but it isn't impossible by any means. She will reel in the Alfa Romeo a lot down this straightaway. If she doesn't totally screw up the S's here, she may have a chance at the last corner, but that's about it. Well, that's called screwing it up right there. I don't know what that was about. Yeah, no, not close enough. Well, exiting the last turn. He's been under more pressure than the other winners in this episode, but Hikari is going to conserve his championship hopes with a win at Monza. Thomas, again with the podium, again with second place. He finished first, second in this episode. And Thrasher gets a podium to maintain his points lead. Hyde, at long last, makes his way to 10th to score a singular point and not look completely incompetent. And now we'll get a look at the points. Halfway through the championship, Thrasher has a 3-point lead over O'Reilly, and it is quite a distance for everybody else. Hikari is within 15 points, so he's in striking distance, but Hyde is kind of falling into obscurity here. He needs like a couple of really good races in the next episode, or he needs Thrasher and Thomas to just utterly just not work if he is to, you know, remain in the championship fight. Otherwise, it may be curtains for him, and it may just be down to those three. That is to be learned in the next episode, as we are done here for the day.